Okay. So first of all, hello everyone. My name's Ethan, as you all know, and I'm here to talk about a stray's life. But first of all, I'm sure many of you have seen a stray before, but I don't think any of you wonder like where they come from. So picture this: you are now a pet, and you have this owner, but this owner is not your typical good owner, and you have a good story. No, this owner is a terrible one. He abuses you, mistreats, and neglects your daily needs. So you eventually learn to fear humans and you become a very, very untrusting, fearful, and defensive animal. So much time passes and you get the opportunity to escape. So would you like to? Answer will be definitely. So the first chance you get, you bolt straight out of the house, turning yourself into a stray. Or maybe your owner is just a very clumsy guy, he forgot to shut the door to. And like how curiosity kills the cat, you wander off a bit too far away from home and also turn into a stray. But one experience I had was when we found a puppy on the streets and we decided to foster it for some time. And after many months, we did eventually find the owner, but we were a bit skeptical. Why? Because that owner had that dog stolen away from him because he wasn't paying attention and therefore he is an irresponsible owner. So after much thought, we eventually had to give it up to him because it was his dog in the end. So now, back to humanity, you are now on the streets and you see a stray. But not only one, not two, not three, but more than a dozen. Why? An explanation for this is that there are many irresponsible owners on this earth. And they think that these pets are unimportant and easily replaceable. Therefore, when they become a burden, they will just dump them onto the streets, let them overpopulate, and leave the responsibility to the city or the people trying to enjoy the streets. And in this example, since you are the person on the streets, you will get harassed by a good portion of these strays, and that portion is the strays that have been abused. And towards this population, the population that has been abused once, I feel very pitiful for them and that they shouldn't be treated this way because I have dealt with abused strays before, like trying to feed them, trying to help them once, and they always seem to be very aware of my presence and will not hesitate to bite me if I get too close. Or some of them even flat out run away from me because the sensation of being abused again is stronger than the feeling of starvation. But after some time, they do eventually warm up to me and they eventually learn to trust us again. So that's the reason, that's one of the many reasons I want to help them to change their life around. And this is not only my reason, but it's also my parents' reason. My father's over there and my mom's over there. They love animals as well, as much as me or even more. Because my father and my mom think that in this society, they don't have a voice because different species and they can't talk. But they can definitely show us. Like, for example, if you have a dog, you might notice that whenever it's thundering, they do get afraid, they whimper, and they hide their tails between their legs. And this is to indicate that they are scared, they don't want this to happen. So they really have a clear way to show us they don't really like this. Unlike a plant, for example, they'll just send a chemical signal or maybe just not do anything at all, let themselves get damaged or eaten. So yeah, that is the reason why my parents want to save them, is to let them suffer less. Like, my father has already saved more than a dozen of them. And a few examples is Black Black with the new current owners, Maxi, the one terrified of thunder, and then Sokyu, also known as translated in Hakka, stupid dog. Yeah, all of them have been fostered into new homes and they probably are enjoying themselves. And not to mention, my father has also raised 15,000 ringgit for stray communities. How so? He made a calendar. Because Microsoft had a thing where you can choose to donate to charities and whatsoever, not if you make a product. And so all these calendars here were free to make, provided by Microsoft. And my father and his crew went on to take a few photos of the strays, as you can see here, and he sold over 1,000 of them. Here are a few examples. So I'm very happy he actually sold all of these, and I respect him deeply for, raising, and because 15,000 is a lot. It's no small amount. So I deeply respect him for helping these strays. So now, with my many experiences and with my parents' experiences, I can firmly say that I've learned many things. One of them being what a great life I have. Because the comparison I'm making here is great parents with great owners and vice versa, horrible parents with horrible owners. Because a horrible parent will most of the time mold their cute little companion into a very defensive, fearful, and untrusting animal. And not to mention useless if it doesn't have proper training. Like, it can't be a proper cat, it can't climb, it can't do what a cat's supposed to do. It's feral now, And the same could be said with a parent, because that parent, with their child, from a young age, will turn their child into a very disdainful, disrespectful, and also useless person in society if they also don't receive proper education. So that's why I'm grateful to have my parents, because they're very great people and they can afford to give me a very good education. So the second thing I've learned would be what true hardship is. Because the definition of hardship, first of all, is what tough times someone has been through. Like, for example, a war or losing a loved one. But in this case, for the stray animals, it's everyday life on the streets. Because they have to fend for themselves, find shelter, find food, water, and basic necessities, so on and so forth. And with other dangers on the streets being more stronger strays, other feral animals, and also us humans driving our cars, looking at our phones, unaware of whether they're on the street or not, is not a pleasant time, It means that every day they have to suffer. So, last but not least, I have learned what a sense of responsibility can do for us. Because, for example, maybe you forgot to do your homework or a piece of coursework you forgot to do. And then you have to beg for your teachers for a longer due date, and they'll probably give you a good scolding. But that's the end of the story. There's no further punishment. And you can fix it, finish your coursework, impress your teachers. It's a win-win. You get your marks, you get to good college, your teacher does his or her job, gets their paycheck. But with an owner's responsibility is far more tedious than a student's one. Because if you even neglect your pet's needs for even a week, die already. It's gone forever. And there is no undoing it. It's stayed there. You can't bring your pet back from the dead unless you're a necromancer. So that's the reason why I've learned that even the littlest sense of responsibility is life-changing, and in this case, it's life-changing for the stray's life. So that's about it. Thank you everyone for listening. Hope it was worth your while. And your 80 ringgit for a ticket.